Well, good. That's helpful. It seems like you enjoy being able to help people.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, that's good. It's a good to be able to share your knowledge with other people.
Oh, that's part of my problem too, is that I don't mind sharing my knowledge, but I have a tendency to overdo, so then I forget what I'm doing and go take care of other people's stuff and then forget this.
Mm-hmm. Well, and that's part of the thing to work out, is that when I was someone who was, because that's kind of what codependency is, right? It's about helping everybody else, even if it hurts you. So it's relearning that and relearning to put yourself first and make sure that you're taken care of first before you go out and help somebody else. So always making sure that you're in a good place before you give, because I mean, it really, I noticed for myself that it became a good excuse. My ex-husband, who was abusive, it was great to focus on him because, yeah, he was terrible and it was terrible to deal with. But I focused on that, and I wasn't focusing on me and what was good for me. I was just so focused on him and how he was treating me and how terrible he was. I wasn't focusing on, wait, hey, I can actually stand up and say, I'm not putting up with this.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, because that's how I grew up. You just do, and you deal with it, and you take care of it all.
Mm-hmm.
And, this other stuff will just fall into place later.
Yep. Yep.
Well, it fell, but not into place. And then I had told another friend that I said, for me to set a goal to achieve is one of the most difficult things for me to do, because if I fail at doing the goal, that disappointment that I'm afraid to do for somebody.
Mm-hmm. I remember you telling me that. Yep.
Yep. Yeah. So that's what I had for the first one.
Okay.
And then the second one.
What about the next one? And that's, part of it is definitely going to be working on fear of failure, because that the fear of failure actually keeps us held back. So as you get stronger and as you're able to move forward, that fear, because I have fear of failure too. I mean, even I have fears all the time. And we're going to actually, one of the things we're going to talk about is doubters, that little voice in your head that says that you can't. But the reality is that most of us have that little voice. There's that little piece of us that feels like we're not going to succeed. And the difference between those that succeed and those who don't is, how do you listen to that voice? Do you say, you're right, voice, I'm going to mess up, so I'm just not going to do it? Or do you say, all right, I see what you're saying, but this is what I'm going to do instead to try to make it better? So there's ways that you can still hear that voice, but not ignore it, but kind of help you to move you along.
And it's not that I will fail, because in my mind, I already know I'm a failure.
Yeah.
It's failing you. If I fail, you.
Mm-hmm.
See, and that's where I'm trying to break that line. And that's where I have my hard spot.
Yeah.
And that's where my tears come in, because if I fail somebody else,
yeah,
now I'm really a failure.
Mm-hmm. And I'll counter that with, and I can see that brings a lot of emotion to you. And, and we kind of touched on this a little bit last week, which I'll keep reminding you of. Who are you living for?
Oh, I know. That's where my work is. It's really, really hard.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. And that's when you feel that, it's something to kind of remind yourself, is who am I living for? Because whether or not you're not letting me down at all. I mean, especially, I'm your coach. So I'm here to be supportive, and I'm here to meet you wherever you are. So my expectations are just to be as supportive of you as possible and do whatever I can to be supportive of you. So there's no feeling here of being let down by you at all. If you stay in the same place the whole time, that's going to be for you. It doesn't change me at all. So it's not, so when you start to feel that way, try to think of something that you can tell yourself to, like some kind of like a phrase or a word that kind of tries to remind you you could even say to yourself, as soon as you start to get upset or feel like you're letting someone down, you might say to yourself, who am I living for?
That I felt like I was not good enough to be with them. And I said, well, I told them that. I said, I'm really sorry if I seemed like I was arrogant, because I would try to come off arrogant.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, I didn't mean to come off that way. It's just that I didn't know how to fit in.
And how do they react to that?
The one gal said she didn't have walking pneumonia, she would have given me a hug because she never thought that way of me.
Oh, see? Yeah. So do you think that you're harder on yourself than anybody else is on you? And that
I learned how to do that.
Mm-hmm. You did.
And reading the Passion Quest, that's going to be a tough one. Because I don't know who I am. I've always been somebody else's sister, somebody else's mom, somebody else's employee. And it makes me cry because I didn't know who I am.
So this one, to me, this one's going to be really pivotal for you, because starting to see, doing the Passion Quest will start to get you in the direction of seeing who you are. It'll seeing what you like and what you don't like. Because right now you're probably just doing things and you're not questioning. So, maybe even next week, next week, maybe the thing that you really just want to focus in on is trying to get 7 different things rated. So 7 different things written down and then rated. And maybe that's all the homework that you need for the week, is to just focus on that. Because I really, really want you to focus on that. Because once you start seeing that and it's actually written down and you're seeing, oh, I really like this. Oh, I really like that. Then you can start to go in the direction of doing things that make you feel good and staying away from things that make you feel bad, because you'll start to notice the difference between the two. And then you'll start to get stronger and feel more able to stay away from things that make you feel bad, because you won't want to do those things. It'll just be unnatural for you, because you'll start to just go in the direction of doing only things that make you feel good. So there's a process for it. So let's just focus on for next week. Let's just focus on the Passion Quest and rating it. I feel like that's a good place.
Because part of my problem is that sometimes for me, what I do makes me feel good, even if I don't feel good about doing it, because someone else prospered.
Well, I want this homework is about you.